chaos of part 4 of my testimony. Here I am. If y'all are just starting out, I would suggest y'all go back to the beginning in part 1. They're not long. They're 12, 15-minute videos. So y'all can catch up and see what's up. But anyway, so I was literally about to give everything up because I just didn't understand how you can lose 2 people like that. Like, my life must be shitty. At this point, I've learned the meditation, not the art of it, or I have not mastered it, and still I have not yet. But I have learned that is the best way for communication. Prayer works, yes. But in meditation, your prayers are heard more clearer. They become more valid. Because when you meditate, everything stops. And you have to get a connection to ascend and to level. There come in levels to level up, to be able to surpass prayers that God hears millions, billions of them on a daily basis. When you meditate, the prayer becomes more heard, clearer, right? So I learned that. So when I was ready to wipe everything off, give it up, honestly, because not only has my family not been talking to me, my son's not been talking to me, now I have 2 people who I've cared tremendously about pass away unexpectedly. I, of course, then felt severely alone, like, did I do this? Is this what I did? You know what I'm saying? I started blaming myself. And at that moment, I was in my bedroom. I remember standing up. And if y'all have ever went through such a panic attack, an anxiety attack where you just can't breathe, but it sort of takes you in another dimension where you're not hearing nothing at all, either, like a mental breakdown, that is exactly what I had. But this mental breakdown was like no other, because all of a sudden I seen gold, beautiful gold, and yellows and oranges and pinks, and like sunset times 1,000. You know how beautiful they are. The colors were amazing. And I'm standing on, it's like water, a lake, but it's clear. But it's so clear that the colors are pinging off of the lake, which looked like I was standing on the freaking sunset itself. I mean, I can't, it's amazingly, it's just overwhelming. And this is where it takes me. I'm standing up and standing on this thing, and I felt like I was supposed to have been there. Now remember, mind you, I'm going through a mental breakdown, and this happens to me. As I'm standing there, it's not like I'm even looking around. I'm just standing there. I know it's hard to explain. And I could feel myself sitting on the edge of my bed. I can feel myself doing that. And I look up, and I feel a huge wind, just like that, around me. And it was angel wings wrapped around me so tightly. And I heard a voice, "We love you. You are loved. You are wanted. And you are needed." Oh my God. Y'all know how they talk about how people wept on Jesus' feet. It wasn't crying. It was just waterfall of tears. That is what I was doing in 3D, real life. Just flowing. Because it's like I could feel the tears in my face. I was wiping them. I mean, I was alive. I was wiping them off my face. But where I was at was not here. And this angel introduced himself as Archangel Michael. He is the one that had his wings around me. Y'all, I've never felt so loved and wanted and appreciated ever in my whole entire life. Ever. Oh my God, the love, it was just so, I don't know. Oh God, I love it. I could feel it now. It was amazing. And so I'm sitting here in this angel wing cocoon, not wanting to let go, not wanting to move. I'm just wanting to feel again. And so he introduces me. Behind him was Archangel Gabriel. And on the left side, he was on the right, and Archangel Gabriel was on the left. And Archangel Raphael, I could barely see him. I could see him, but I could barely see him. I knew it was him, though. And they said, like at the same time, it was so perfect. You are loved. You are needed and you're wanted. And that's what they're saying to me. And by that time, y'all, I don't see God. No, I don't. I don't see him. But I feel him. And I hear him. I feel this presence of a hand. This hand was, oh my God, it was bigger than the world. It was huge. It was, I can't even explain it. It was so ginormously, it was bigger than the world. Touched my knee. And it's like, I want to say that I felt him like bend down or kneel down or look down or something like that. Or his energy pull down. I don't know. I can't explain it. And he said, you can't give up. He says, you can't give up now. Your purpose is to help others. Don't forget that. You have a place here. Don't forget your purpose is to help others. And as he's saying that, it's getting more distant and distant and distant. Until I realize that I'm laying on my bed with my arms crossed over my chest. And my son opens the door and he says, Mom, are you okay? And I come to, I guess, and I look at him and I said, honey, I'm just fine. And that's what I tell him. He said, okay, I was just checking on you. Well, later on, he shuts the door, but later on he tells me that it looked like I was levitating off the bed. I don't know if that was true or not. But he said it was the strangest thing. He explained it to me as it looked like I was floating, is how he said. He said it looked like you were just floating or whatever, and that's what he said. But anyhow, after that point, after that moment, after that second, that I actually thought it was no time, but that was like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours of that. I had no idea. That's why I tell timing is fluent in spirit world. But after that moment, I knew I was here for a reason. Not only was it to forgive myself for all the pain that I've caused myself and others, but to know who I truly am authentically. To know where I come from, what I've seen. Nobody can tell me no different. You can try all day and all night if you want to. I will never, ever believe anything less than what I have physically, subconsciously, consciously witnessed, felt, seen. That's where I'm at with it. Period. All of that happened in 2021 of May. From then on out, I have broke generational curses. I have went through the dark to get to the light. I have seen demons, and they're real. I've been wide awake, going to the store and see them. Yep. I have been able to come to terms with who we are as a person, who we are as an individual while we're here, somewhat of what lies beyond. And don't think it ain't been hard. It's still been hard for me. I still struggle. I'm human, right? But only temporary. I'm on the 3D world, but I don't belong on the 3D world. We're all here on the 3D world for a reason. Biggest reason we chose to be here. That I do know. It was contracted out. That I do know. We've been here before. Most of us. Some of us have not coronated. Some of us have. Right? I do know that people who stay stuck in old way belief, I'm not calling it no new age, religion, all that stuff. I don't know nothing about none of that. Y'all call it what you want, whatever. But I do know that if you still stay stuck in old age belief, that when this world perishes, and the Bible speaks of the new world, no sorrow, no pain, I know y'all will still be stuck in 3D world. That I do know. What I also know is I won't be one of them stuck. The more work you put in yourself spiritually, the more you help break generational curses, the more that you help break ancestral curses, things like that, the more your people will evolve, especially the ones who's passed away, will evolve in the new world as well as you will. When you don't put in the work, you let down your ancestors, you let down yourself. Because I know when the new world comes, I'm hoping that I'm going to be the one to lead that straight to the fifth dimensional world. That's why all these signs and things are coming up. All this, animals walking in circles, all this technology coming through, all of this sporadic crazy shit. It does seem dark, and some of it is, but there is a freaking message and warning in each thing that we see that's new and different that comes from Spirit. That's on God. Well, I'm going to end it here for my testimony. I am going to start making videos and talking about ascensions, things that I've learned, things that I do, things that I'm still learning, things that I need to learn, my ups and downs in this process. How I'm connecting, tapping in, how I read my cards, me experimenting on the dark versus the light work. Didn't know much about that. I do now. It's possible. Yep. You got two things. You got dark and light. Choose. Right? There's no, there are people that's put on here for God's work, and there's people that's put on here for the devil's work. Period. There's no forgive me and I raise to heaven. That doesn't happen. It doesn't work that way. right? Not what I know, not what I see, and not what I still see from time to time. When I get in a deep meditation, there's a lot of activity beyond the veil right here. Absolutely. It's just real hard for me to word it in the ways that people could understand. You know what I'm saying? I have a struggle with that. I guess because I was so unbelievable with the things that I used to say back in my, I call it past life, but in my past, right? Then you would think, all that shit she talked in the past, right? You think that she's talking whatever, don't listen to her, and that's okay. Back then, I'd have a problem with it. Today, I wish you well. That's where I'm at with it. So I hope y'all enjoyed my 5-part session. Sorry that it had to be sporadic. I am going to set the tissues out there. I didn't want y'all to see that because I'm good, and I got a story to tell y'all about that too, about when I thought that I let him go. It's a whole new story about that. It's amazing. It's crazy. But when I tell you earlier that I went through the dark to get to the light, yeah, I'll tell y'all about that here soon. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoy y'all's evening or day or morning or wherever time stamp y'all are at. And please like, share, if you can, subscribe, follow with the little bell. I'm also on TikTok. I'm on Facebook under Cards and Candles or Spiritual Connections. That is my base foundation there. But I am trying to transit into spirit communications or conversations, I'm sorry. Because I feel like more talking needs to be done. I've been led to do this for quite some time, but today is the day. And I've done it. So I'm going to pour me a glass of wine because I deserve it. Y'all take it easy.